Okay, I want to welcome everyone to the Meet the Need monthly user webinar. Our topic this month is effectively reaching your city in service. My name is Tanya Nichols, and I am the Director of Member Services at Meet the Need, and I'll be your host today. We also have a guest speaker I'll be introducing here shortly, but before we get started, let's open in prayer and give people some time to join that might be joining a little late. But prayer is always a good way to get started. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you so much for another day that you've kept us here on this earth, Lord, so that we can be the hands and feet of your Son, Jesus, to those who need it most. And Lord, I pray for opportunities to be presented before us, Lord, and that there would be boldness in our steps as we live out those opportunities. And Lord, let your love shine through each of us. Lord, I thank you for all the church leaders and ministry leaders and city reaching leaders, Lord, that are on this call, and those that may be listening in the future, Lord, that you continue to provide provision for their ministries, Lord. Thank you for entrusting them with the flock that you've given to them, and Lord, the platform that you've given them to show your glory. Lord, continue to be in the center of all that we do. Be with us today as we present. Let there be fruit that can be picked and used, and the kingdom can grow, and your glory can shine throughout the earth. It's in your Son Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started with the webinar. Again, my name is Tanya Nichols. I'm the Director of Member Services at Meet the Need. And we're going to focus today on city reaching organizations and really learning how to effectively use Meet the Need in reaching your city in service and connecting your city in service. I've got a new platform here, so I'm learning how to maneuver. Here's some webinar tips just before we get started. I do want you to ask questions and even chat with one another, and you can do that through your Webinar Jam dashboard. There is a message box, if you look at the green circle, where you can type a message, and then you can use the red where I have it circled in red to either mark that as a question or just to submit that as a chat. You can just make comments of, oh yeah, I use that, that's great, or oh wow, I like that feature. You can make comments, or you can ask a specific question, and both of those will appear in the purple box, and I can see those on my other screen. And as we pause throughout the webinar, we'll answer those questions. And then at the end, if for some reason I haven't gotten to your question, we have a section labeled questions and answers, and we'll be able to answer those then. If for any reason I don't get a chance to answer your question live on the webinar, I will be sure to follow up with you offline. But I pray that, that this will be a fruitful time, and that you will have a lot to take home and go away with, and go and put into practice into your cities. All right. Today, we're going to talk just a little bit about the vision of our monthly user webinars. I'll introduce, and we'll hear from our guest speaker, Tamara Gilkey. She's from Serve OK, a city reaching organization in Edmond, Oklahoma. They're definitely one of our power users, so you'll want to hang in there, and let's hear from Tamara, and she has a lot of good nuggets to share with us. And then I'll teach a little bit about how to reach your city and focus on some best practices that Tamara might not cover in her section about sharing Meet the Need, showing needs on your website and how to reach the different audiences through your website, through Meet the Need, and keeping the momentum going in your city. Our next webinar is June 9th. It's every second Tuesday at 1 p.m. There will be no webinar in July. Keep that in mind. And our next webinar in June will be titled Meet the Need, Best Practices Empower Users. So we'll have several examples of different churches and ministries and city reaching organizations, and how they're using Meet the Need and how they're getting the most out of it, and really mobilizing their organizations, their volunteers, their members, their city to go and serve others. So go ahead and mark your calendars. We'll send out an invite just like we did for this one. It's also at the bottom of all of our signatures on all of our emails, so you can join in several different ways. All right. Some of you joining today are ministry leaders and church leaders of organizations, and you may not have joined Meet the Need yet. Sometimes we have people join the webinar just to find out more about us. This webinar is going to dive in pretty deep into city reaching organizations specifically, because every month we focus on a different topic. But we don't want to discourage you. Hang tight with us. It may dive in a little deeper than you're expecting, but we do want you to go and register with Meet the Need. You can go to meettheneed.org, click the quick start button, and just a few steps in less than 10 minutes, you'll have registered, gone through training, and be able to start posting needs for your own organization or using Meet the Need however you want to. But if you have not registered, that's going to be your next step following the webinar, or even while we're on the webinar, you can do that. A little bit about our user group webinars and beyond. We do have a webinar every second Tuesday of the month. It's hosted by Meet the Need. We typically have a guest speaker that will help us to show the application of whatever the topic is that we're teaching, because each month is a different topic. And then we offer a time for questions and answers for you to get, be able to get your questions answered. But what we would really like to see are face-to-face meetings happening in your city, in addition to these webinars, where you would meet together with other Meet the Need users, other ministry leaders, church leaders, share about what's going on in the community, how you're involved, how you're using Meet the Need to make that easier, send us feedback or include us in those meetings. And if you're interested in hosting one of those face-to-face meetings, let us know. My information's there, and I'll get you connected and even give you the tools and resources you need to make those meetings happen. It may be a monthly meeting. It may be, once a quarter, or maybe even once a year. Whatever that looks like, we really want to see the city united in service. And there's no better way to do that than to meet together, because where two or more are gathered, God is glorified. All right, before we dive into our guest speaker and start talking about city reaching organizations and what the best way is to reach your city, I wanted to do a little bit of teaching, a little bit of definition here, so we're all on the same page as we're going into the webinar. I'll use the words hub or city reaching organization kind of interchangeably in our webinar and even throughout a lot of our training and materials. But what a hub or a city reaching organization is outlined here. They unite, equip, empower, connect, and engage their community. Typically, their primary purpose is to unite and to connect churches and ministries and community organizations to serve their city. A lot of times they'll help to equip by providing training and resources to agencies in the city. Oftentimes they empower those organizations by offering services and resources to make their jobs easier, which that's where Meet the Need comes in. We're one of those empowering and equipping tools. And then typically city reaching organizations help to connect those in need with citywide agencies to receive help. Usually a city reaching organization doesn't offer services to those in needs directly, although we do have several that do. Typically, the city reaching organization is there just to make those connections happen, but they're not actually offering services themselves. But if you do offer services yourself, you're kind of a ministry and a city reaching organization altogether, you can use Meet the Need for both sides of those roles that you play. And then, of course, engaging. A lot of times city reaching organizations do plan larger events with multiple organizations involved to help to engage the city as one body to make a citywide difference. So if you fall under these types of descriptions, then you more than likely are what we would call a hub or city reaching organization. And we're there to help you make your job easier in connecting organizations together and individuals to those organizations to get help as well as to serve others. All right. I would like to introduce to you at this time our guest speaker, Tamara Gilkey. She has been with Serve OK for about a year and a half, and she's been very instrumental in helping get Meet the Need up and going there at Serve OK and in the Oklahoma City area. And Tamara has done a wonderful job at making that happen. And she likes to spend her free time. She loves horses and really anything outside. And a little known fact about her, and I've been able to walk with her through a few of these, but she has had 5 grandchildren in the last 4 years. So she has been very busy being a grandmother and taking care of those grandchildren and planting the seed for the next generation. So I'd like to welcome Tamara with us from Serve OK. Tamara, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Awesome. Yay, it's working. Well, Tamara, as we get started here, tell us a little bit about what Serve OK is and maybe how you found out about Meet the Need and how y'all started using Meet the Need.
Okay, I'd love to do that. First of all, our mission, I believe, is similar to Meet the Needs, which I think makes us a good match. But we strive to serve as a bridge connecting the Christian community with needs in central Oklahoma. And our vision is much like that. It is to transform our community by motivating God's people to help those in need and bring glory to God in the process. So that is really what we're all about as a basis. We started back in 2007 as a group of Christian women began looking at ways to encourage Christians to use their Bible knowledge in the community and especially in volunteering. And so over the years, we've used different methods to fulfill this. I'll go ahead and give you some of those different things we have tried. Conferences were one of the beginning ways. We had several with 150 women who would come to learn about needs in the city, and we would highlight 7 nonprofit ministries at each conference. We've also done a bus tour, which was successful when those were done, and it was kind of a fun idea. The women were invited to attend this and ride a bus to go to different caring ministries and nonprofits and meet the directors who actually rode on the bus in between each stop so that they could talk to the attendees about their organization. Most of these women were pastors' wives, and so they were able to see firsthand the needs and the locations and facilities where their church members might volunteer.
Tamara, I love that idea. I did not know that you guys did that, and that is a great idea for city reaching organizations to really engage the leaders of those churches and let them experience all the different ministries that there are in the city. I love that idea.
It really did do a good job of getting that done, and we haven't done one in a couple of years. It's actually something we've discussed, so who knows, it may come up again.
Yeah, I like that. All right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, another one was a free banquet where we had 50 different couples invite their friends, 10 of their friends, to come and sit at a table with them, and so we were very successful with that and had 500 people come, which was a great way to, again, focus on some compassionate care organizations and share needs of those organizations with many in the community. So, and then lastly, one of the things that we had done, there was an ongoing event called Share Fest. It was an annual event where it's with a work day for Oklahoma City churches and caring organizations to connect to provide volunteer help in our community. They accomplished hundreds of hours of work meeting many needs. It helped make long-lasting friendships and important connections between churches and other nonprofits. So it was a very successful event, but it was only once a year, and that led us to look for something online that would be ongoing and share a presence, 24/7 instead of just once a year, and that's how we found Meet the Need.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like a very natural progression that you guys went through. And you found us. It sounds like at just the right time as y'all were looking to take everything that y'all had done and push that to year-round serving. So we're glad that you found us. Do you remember how you found us? I know you weren't a part of it at the very beginning, Tamara. Was it at a conference or did y'all stumble across us online? Do you remember how you heard about us?
Yes, actually, a consultant that we had working with us, and she still does things for us, found you online. She did. She was specifically looking for something and looked at some other opportunities and said, Meet the Need is the way we should go.
Awesome. Well, glad she found us. And we started our relationship just a it's been what, about 2 years that you guys have been a part of Meet the Need?
Yes, actually a little over 2 years.
A little over 2 years. Yep. So tell me a little bit about what your current focus is at Serve OK and how, a few of these focuses, Meet the Need kind of ties into, but tell us what's going on there right
Okay.
now.
Okay, our focus is to connect. I love that word. And we exist to connect churches and community groups with the nonprofit ministries who need the volunteer help. Our mission really does align closely with yours in that Meet the Need has been a great source to help us accomplish this. It gives us the web presence that Serve OK needs for a detailed and comprehensive way to match up those different sectors, the volunteers, basically the volunteers with the needs in the community. Another piece that we have on our website that is actually part of Meet the Need, or we got it through you guys, is our directory, and it is a place where churches, ministries, nonprofits can use this. They go on and register and insert their information, and then others can use the ongoing information about the resources those organizations provide especially when they're looking for help, either for themselves or for other individuals or groups of people.
Yeah, and we're going to go into a little bit more detail about your connecting volunteers and your directory and a little bit later in the webinar. So we'll get into some details on that.
Right. Okay. And then another event that we have that has been very successful, and it is, we call it a Compassionate Care Gathering, and it is a networking event that we host 8 to 10 times a year. It's almost monthly, but just not quite. And it's a meeting where different caring organizations, churches, nonprofits, ministries are invited, and they come and they start off with a breakfast snack and coffee to kind of make it a relaxing morning. Then they each take a turn and share information about their organization, about needs, events. We encourage them to bring lots of business cards and brochures to pass around. And this has been successful in that when we first started, we had about 10 people coming to these, and we now have an average of around 50 people coming to this event each month that we have it. So it doesn't sound like a lot, just a group of people networking, but the connections that are made through that, I think, are really amazing. The way one person from one organization will find help through a certain aspect of their needs from another organization or another person. So that's been great. It's also a great way for Serve OK to share information about the web platform that we offer through Meet the Need and encourage people to connect with us. So
absolutely. Yeah, it's great to have a consistent meeting like that once a month where everyone knows that they can come together and network and support one another.
Yes, it's just amazing to me how successful it has been. In addition to that, we also do a once a month interview on a local Christian radio station to share just more information about what's going on with Serve OK. And we do e-newsletters to share information. And we usually, on those e-newsletters, we're normally focusing on sharing information about our Meet the Need partners in our community, so that we're really highlighting them in our e-newsletters. And another sponsorship that we do annually, usually, or we're looking at doing it more than just annually, is to sponsor a different compassionate care organization and help them with publicity and things like that. And this year we're sponsoring Walk a Mile foster care event that's on June the 20th. And we'll be giving away some grants. I believe it'll be 3 small grants to foster care organizations. And then last year we did something very similar in helping a ministry that works with moms who have been through the jail system and are just getting out, and will need, this organization does a great job in helping them find housing or providing housing. And we helped with donation and then of blankets and clothing, and also financial donation to help them get their heat and air running. So,
Tamara, it sounds like you guys do a lot. I mean, that's your primary focus, is to connect these organizations and leaders together and to, make resources known. We have a question from Elizabeth on the webinar. She was wondering, how does Serve OK get funding for all of these different events that you do? And I mean, not that you're going to go into every single event and how you funded it, but in general, how do you get your funds to help support these initiatives?
We do that just as most nonprofits, through asking for donations. We honestly have not had a large event, although we've talked about it, but currently it's through donations from interested individuals.
Okay. Do y'all request donations from like churches and ministries that you work with, or are there like monthly supporters or anything like that?
We don't request donations other than maybe our annual request, but other than that, we just depend on God's guidance for people to want to donate and help with our projects.
So really, as those funds come in, that dictates what kind of events that you could do for that year.
It does. Many of the things that we do, like the sponsorships with other organizations, truly those are not very costly to us because we're helping another organization. Mm-hmm. So it's worked out very well.
Awesome. Sounds like God has shown up and provided in every way that you've needed.
He does. He does do that.
We have a good God, that's for sure.
For sure.
I wanted to dive in a little bit because Tamara talked about several different ways or initiatives that they have to connect the community in a lot of different ways. I wanted to focus a little bit on their website because they're really one of our best practices for a city reaching organization as far as how their website is set up. We use them all the time in design calls. And if you go to their website, these are print screens, so I can't click and go further, but if you go to their website, it's www.serveok.org. You see there's 3 buttons on the home page, and they're nice big bold buttons, which are great. People don't have to scroll down to find things. It's all right there on the home page. But they have 3 different audiences that they cater to or that they serve. One are volunteers, which takes place in the serve button. One are those in need, which Tamara referred to earlier, the directory, a customized directory that we did for them, where those people who are in need can search and find organizations that provide services that they may need help with. And then the third are church and ministry leaders that they're connecting, especially in those networking monthly meetings. And this is a page where their partners can go to get more information about Meet the Need and how to join. So let's dive a little bit further into some of these screens. Their serve button looks something like this, where you would click and you would see all the needs in the area. Currently, there are 38 needs within 50 miles of Serve OK's zip code. And these are organizations. Right now, it just shows one organization, the first 2 needs. But if I scroll down, I would see a variety of organizations that are posting needs, and those are showing on Serve OK's website. What's great is not only are those needs showing on Serve OK's site, but they're also showing on the organization that posted the needs website, and they're showing on the church websites that have chosen to join Meet the Need as well. So an organization posts one time, Serve OK is one of those conduits for those needs to show through, but they're also showing on other websites simultaneously. So those needs can be seen more and adopted quicker by individuals or by church members. Serve OK also has a directory, a customized directory that we built for them that they paid for. It's not part of our free directory. I'll tell you about that a little bit later, but this is a customized directory we did for them where they chose their own categories. Their organizations, it's not connected to Meet the Need, but their organizations can register for the directory, can add their listing. Serve OK has a whole admin process on the background, on the back end, where they can approve or disapprove organizations to show in this directory. But it's a chance for people who are looking for organizations, maybe not necessarily to serve as a volunteer, but looking to get help or to get connected in another way. This is where they would come and be able to see the details of all the organizations in the area by different categories. Like they can search for all the churches or those that provide food or those that provide health care. So the directory is a great way to reach that audience as well. Then there's the third button is partners, where church and ministry leaders go. And usually Tamara's out visiting churches and visiting ministries, and she's talking about how, Serve OK helps to unite the city. And one of the platforms that they offer to the churches and ministries is Meet the Need. And so she'll direct them to their partners page. And here they can watch a 5-minute video. They can click the quick start to get started, and they can read more about the benefits of Meet the Need. But this is a page dedicated to the platform that really helps drive everything that's going on at Serve OK. And so that's why they dedicated a page to that. And so you can do the same as a city reaching organization, and we highly recommend that. Tamara, let's go back. I've got a question before we dive into your challenges. Someone's wanting to know, are you a full-time employee? Or are you part-time? Or are you a volunteer? What is your position like there at Serve OK?
Well, actually, I am part-time, and I am a paid employee. I'm not a volunteer.
Okay. And do you have any other staff, or are you pretty much the only staff person at Serve OK?
I am pretty much the only staff person. We are a small organization, but we try to have a big reach into the city.
Yes, yes. And God, I know, multiplies your time when you need it most. And we understand that, Meet the Need doesn't have a big staff either, but we are able to do a lot with, the platform and resources that we have. And we're hoping that we're making your job easier, Tamara, and able to expand your reach, because you are the only staff person, because of the Meet the Need platform and the directory and the resources that we've put in place for you.
Yes, definitely you do that. And I have to say, you mentioned that I do go out and visit with other organizations, churches and ministries, nonprofits. And I have to say that is one of the parts of my job that I love the best, because I get to go out and see in the community what really is going on and who's helping who and how that works. And it is a blessing to see that.
Yes. Awesome. We're glad to be a part of that. So Tamara, obviously everything's not a bed of roses when it comes to ministry. We all know that. We all have, are running ministries or have run them or working in churches. Let's be honest. What are some challenges that you've had, and how have you begun to overcome them?
Okay. One of the biggest challenge I would think right now for us is a difficulty in getting churches on board. Especially with Meet the Need. And I think there are a couple of different reasons that may be occurring. Let me back up and say the nonprofits usually have a direct need to show their needs. And so that seems to be just a little bit easier, whereas churches are often smaller staffed and may not feel like they have a person who can actually take care of all of that in addition to everything else they're already doing. And then also we seem to hear that churches want to their inward needs are also very important, because there's needs within their own membership, and so they're not always looking at ways to reach out to the community. So those are what we found as two challenges in trying to get more churches on board.
Yeah, and we've done some enhancements with Meet the Need to help make that registration process easier, help make the dashboard more simplistic and modularized, because I know that was some of the challenges that we had seen from churches in the past. And that was updated back last fall, so that's been in effect now for a while. And we've been seeing more and more churches using Meet the Need, maybe not necessarily in Oklahoma City, but nationwide, and finding it a lot easier, especially the smaller churches that aren't as technology efficient or may not have the staff is spread really thin. Really making that registration process simpler or making the dashboard simpler has helped. Of course, you're always going to have churches that, I see here as one of your challenges, have a fear of new techniques.
Yes.
Or a fear of technology in general. And those take a little bit more coaxing, a little bit more stroking, a little bit more hand-holding to get them to, begin to use technology at all. Some of them have been using just spreadsheets or emails or just handwritten sign-up sheets thus far. And so introducing them to technology at all is always going to be an obstacle that you have to overcome. But we're here as a support staff of Meet the Need to help walk them through that, through video tutorials, to answer questions, even if you need to do an online meeting together with us. I know we've done that a few times with you guys there at Serve OK, and we've done it with a lot of our other city reaching organizations. We're here to help you through those. Like you said, you've done a great job of getting the ministries on board, and we're going to talk about one of your next steps is balancing that out in the city and getting some churches so those needs can be met.
Yes, and that is what we are focusing on, and you have been very helpful in that. And of course, Meet the Need provides so many resources to make it easier to go out and speak to who we need to speak to and to show exactly how it all works. So I really, I'm always so excited to go and visit with people and to share Meet the Need, because it really is an amazing web platform. So you guys have done a great job.
Yeah.
And then the last challenge that I really mentioned is fundraising. For us is a little bit different because we are not actually the ones out there in the trenches doing the work. We're just sharing the needs with those that might possibly help. And so it's a little bit more, it's a little different angle to get fundraising accomplished when you're not actually the ones doing the work.
Right. Yeah, you're that conduit to announce all that's happening, but not necessarily providing the services to those in need. And so, yeah, I think probably every city reaching organization is shaking their head right now if they're on the call of fundraising is always going to be a challenge, because you aren't serving food to the homeless per se, but you're helping those needs get met in some way.
Right, but it is not an obstacle that cannot be overcome.
Amen. In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
What about what's going on in the future and your next steps? What does that look like there at Serve OK?
Okay. I think we have a very exciting future, and we're eager to jump right into it. Each year we have an annual board retreat, and we bring in a professional facilitator to help direct us and discuss the year's upcoming strategies and plans. And that has been very helpful. It gives us the path, God's path, to walk down in the future. This year also, our board attended, and I also attended, the Standards for Excellence sessions that our local nonprofit center provides. And these are just very helpful in the techniques of a 501c3, what needs to be happening, keeping everything above board, all of those kinds of things. We gleaned a lot from that, and each board member has shared different pieces that were important to them and things that we need to incorporate. So that's been helpful, just looking at the nonprofit status and things that we need to be doing. We're also contacting other Meet the Need City Reaching Hub organizations just to see what they're doing, what's successful for them, if we have some of the same possible issues, and getting new ideas on how we might pursue things in the future.
Yeah, and I like how you guys are reaching out to other Meet the Need organizations, especially city reaching organizations. And if anyone else is interested in reaching out like Serve OK is and connecting with some other city reaching orgs, let us know. We'll connect you with some that are using Meet the Need in similar ways that you're wanting to use us. And you guys can learn from one another, just like we're talking about having face-to-face meetings in your city and connecting churches and ministries together within your city, which a lot of city reaching organizations are making those happen and facilitate those. We also want to connect our city reaching organizations nationally. And so you can learn from one another and share resources and learn new things, especially when it comes to Meet the Need or connecting your city. So thanks, Tamara, for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Then the last piece that we're looking at, or it's really an ongoing thing, is that our ways to get information out to churches and other groups, which include many of the current focus items that I mentioned earlier. And we also do news. We're fortunate to have newspaper articles and magazine articles occasionally. We do the radio interviews, And those are just ways that we're looking at trying to keep the interest there and get the information out about Serve OK. And then in addition to that, we are discussing, looking at possibilities of having an event sometime this year that we would invite churches, especially to share ongoing needs that are in the city and also share about Meet the Need.
Awesome. Yeah, and I know you guys do a good job at consistently sharing Meet the Need, because just telling your ministry partners about it once or twice, or your churches about it once or twice, really any organization with any kind of marketing or any kind of trying to get the word out about something new, really people have to hear it, they say, on an average of 7 times before they'll actually make movement. And Tamara, I think you can attest that some churches and ministries do take that many times of you sharing it with them in various forms, through print, through electronic email, through face-to-face conversations, through monthly meetings. I mean, you guys constantly have things going on, and utilizing what you're already doing and what you're already sending out to throw in that little mention of Meet the Need, and that you're giving them a whole platform to do all of their outreach, from case management to missions to events to ongoing needs, that all of that can be handled on one platform at no cost. You guys do a great job of continually sharing that, and that's really what it takes. And it may take a couple of years to really see that city moving. Typically, you can start to see movement within 6 months. But to really have the city moving and on board fully, I mean, it could take up to a couple of years to see that happen.
Yes, and thank you for saying that. That's encouraging.
Yes. Yes, you're doing everything right, Tamara. I know that you second guess yourself all the time, but you guys are doing a great job there in Oklahoma, and you're really Oklahoma City, and you're really setting an example for everyone else. And I thank you for your endeavors and overcoming those challenges, and not being afraid, to push through obstacles, and really seeking God through all of it.
Thank you. And we really, truly do appreciate the help that you guys have been, and the fact that when we call or email, you're there for us.
Absolutely. We have a couple questions for you. A question of, you guys work with churches and nonprofits and ministries. Do y'all have any kind of limitations to who you partner with? And do you ever turn down an organization for being listed in your directory? And what does that look like?
At this point, we've never needed to turn anyone down that's listed as a partner or in the directory, which is truly a blessing. But we do have some guidelines that, if it were necessary, we would look into that.
Yeah, some vetting, some behind the scenes vetting that would take place.
Mm-hmm. And yeah. I also, yes, we would just, there would be things that we would look at just to make sure that the organizations fit. But, I've talked to other organizations in the city, like our local United Way, and they also do that. We're not the only ones vetting organizations to make sure that it's a good relationship.
Absolutely. And I know you guys have a strong board of directors, and y'all meet regularly. And I know that they're involved in the community in many ways. So your board of directors, I think you would agree, is a good resource in vetting organizations too.
Yes, they definitely are. And they are very involved in the community.
Yes. Well, Tamara, I want to thank you for sharing all that you have with us. And if there's any other questions for Tamara, you can type them in. We're going to move to the kind of the teaching portion of the webinar now. I'm going to dive in a little deeper to some things that we've hit on and some new things as well. But Tamara's going to stay on the line. I'm going to mute her so we don't, hear her background noise, but she'll stay on the line. So if you have more questions, we'll address those questions towards the end. But thank you, Tamara, for joining us.
And thank you.
All right, let's continue with our teaching portion. All right, some city reaching best practices for sharing Meet the Need. Tamara talked about a lot of these, and they're implementing them. That's why they're one of our power users there at Serve OK. But I want to direct you to some resources as city reaching organizations that you have access to if you've joined Meet the Need. You can go to our meettheneed.org/partner page for a complete toolbox of resources, or you can also access a lot of this information through the share button on your dashboard. But what we recommend for reaching your city is starting with the larger, more influential churches in your area. This right down here, viral rollout process for a city. If you start with the larger churches and more influential churches, they're going to then, and they buy into the whole meet the need concept of, oh yeah, we want to move our members out into the community and serve more. We want to give them a variety of needs to choose from. We want to show them needs of families in the area. We want to connect them to events, our own events or events in the area. Then they're going to go and share with their nonprofit partners. And because they're going to want needs to be posted, because as those nonprofit partners post needs, then that takes the workload off the church, and then they're just simply offering a window or an open door to their members to see the needs that are being posted by those other organizations. And then once those other organizations, those nonprofit partners, start posting needs, they're going to want their needs to be seen on more websites. So then they go and share with other churches. And before you know it, it becomes viral in a city, and there's sharing happening, there's needs being posted, and more people are being mobilized to meet more needs in the name of Christ. Tamara has attested to this. One-on-one meetings are great to go and talk with churches and ministries and share about the platform that you're offering to them and make it seem like it's a gift that you're giving them. It's at no cost, and they can join and have a full everything on one platform as far as all of their outreach activity. Tamara and them at Serve OK do group gatherings once a month. We recommend that as well, or once a quarter, whatever that looks like. Any kind of training or equipping that you're doing, sharing Meet the Need in that platform as a part of that is a great best practice. Definitely, you can have online meetings. Maybe, meeting one-on-one isn't conducive for you, but you can meet online with churches and ministries, and we will make ourselves available at Meet the Need to be a part of those online meetings. We do that all the time, where maybe a church in the area is joining and they want to share with maybe 10 or 12 other ministries that they partner with, and they want them to start using Meet the Need to show needs on the church website. And so we share the full benefits of Meet the Need online with them and host a kind of a private webinar just for that church and their partners. So, or that city reaching organization and their partners, whatever that might look like. Of course, emails are a good way to communicate. Newsletters, Tamara and them have had good success with that, with keeping up with sharing what's happening and reminding them that there is this platform out there that they need to be posting, and they need to be sending their members to see needs. And then, of course, sharing stories. Tamara was saying that one of their obstacles is that they don't maybe serve a meal to the homeless, so they're not in the trenches doing the ministry, but they're there sharing. If they could grab some of those stories from different ministries and share those stories of how someone got connected, and one of the ways that happened was through needs. Through Serve OK. Sharing those stories are a great way to really tug at the heartstrings and mobilize a city to serve, and churches to be sharing those stories with those members so that they will want to go and serve is a great best practice. All right. When you're posting needs, now some of our city reaching organizations post needs because they are a ministry as well. But even if you don't post needs, knowing some of the best practices for posting needs is a good thing as you are training churches and ministries, to collaborate together. City reaching organizations don't ever need to post a need unless you want to. But you want to empower your churches and ministries to post ongoing needs, and you simply show those needs on yet another website, your website as a city reaching organization, to help promote the needs that are out there. If you do post needs as a city reaching organization, maybe for a collaborative event, or maybe you post family needs in the area, you might be a kind of a clearinghouse for family needs. We have a few city reaching organizations that do that. Then you can post directly through your dashboard and share a specific link with your churches and your ministries for their website, so that their members can see and their volunteers can see what all there is going on in the area. And you may not have thought about this, but you can share any link and Meet the Need, any link that shows needs. You can share that in your social media. So if Serve OK has a Facebook page, which I know they do, and they're posting things that are happening in the community, then post a link, a URL directly in the post, and direct people to go see those needs and join in and participate. And that drives them directly to your website and to the needs that you're talking about, so that there's no ambiguity of what there is to do next. Some more best practices for your website. As I've mentioned, ServeOK is a great example. Their homepage, they serve 3 different audiences. They serve volunteers looking to get involved in serving. They serve individuals looking for ways to connect with organizations that may be able to help meet their needs. And they serve church and ministry and nonprofit partners. And all 3 of those are addressed on the webpage above the fold. They happen to all be running through Meet the Need, but they don't have to be. But a best practice for your website is to address the audiences that you're wanting to focus on right up front in a very easy, efficient way. Here is Advancing Vibrant Communities. They're out in the Modesto, California area. They have chosen to use the resources and Meet the Need in a different way. They have more buttons, more than just the 3 like ServeOK has, but a lot of the same things. They have a button where they can see the list of needs in the community. They have a way for you to learn more about Meet the Need and register. That's for their churches and ministries. They have a directory of community organizations that are registered to Meet the Need. Now, they did not do a customized directory. If you go to their site, what you're going to see is what we call a Meet the Need directory. And it's simply pulling information from the organizations that have registered with Meet the Need. Where ServeOK has a customized directory, and they loaded in and they've asked organizations to register that may not be a part of Meet the Need yet, or may not ever be a part of Meet the Need, but they wanted their information in the directory for people to be able to search and find. So AVC has our regular Meet the Need directory. They have a button where you can just see the needs of AVC down here at the bottom to highlight their needs that they post, because they actually post needs for families. They have a way for volunteers to go and register in case they can't meet a need right now, but they want to register to get notifications of when AVC posts new needs. They can register to get that. So you can see there's a lot of different ways that you can incorporate all the resources that we give you as a city reaching organization through your website. There's also you could also do a volunteer landing page. ServeOK has a serve button, and you see all the needs right there from the get-go in a list. This is the Dallas Baptist Association, and they've created a landing page with buttons that show different kinds of needs, like search to see community needs, search all of DBA projects needs, search our ministry and church needs, and then it takes them to another landing page where they can click and see all the needs of the apartment ministries or all the needs of mental health or mentoring. So they've separated out the needs through different links and different buttons on your website. So you can do, that's another option to show needs on your website. This is another example. ServeOK had that nice Meet the Need page where their church and ministry partners could click and find out more about Meet the Need and register with us. This is another way to do it. It's not as Meet the Need focused, but that's okay. But it talks about the problem in the city and the solution in the city, and the solution is Meet the Need. And then you could click to learn more, and it takes you to our website, or click to register, and they can register with us. So just another way of directing them to how they can become, a part of Meet the Need and use the platform to, expand their service in their city. This is the Meet the Need directory. We had talked about ServeOK has the customized directory. This is the one that Advancing Vibrant Communities has, where people can go and sort through a link, show me all the poor and needy organizations in the area that serve the poor and needy. Show me the ones that serve the youth. Show me the ones that deal with healthcare. Show me all the churches in the area. And then once they narrow down the search by zip code and miles radius, then they can view the details and connect directly with that organization. Now, they're not seeing the needs of the organization, but what they're seeing is the contact information where they can contact them and get involved and possibly either get services from them or connect with them in another way. And we do offer this as part of our resources and our free platform. These are all organizations that have registered with Meet the Need previously. I am covering a lot of information, and I got the question of, is this PowerPoint going to be available for you to be able to have? And the answer is yes. I will be sending a recording of this webinar as well as a copy of the PowerPoint to all those that have registered for it. And there will be a recording of the webinar in our webinar archives, which I'll show you later where you can find those. All right, a little bit about the customized directory. Tamara referred to this for ServeOK, where they paid for us, or they paid for us to be able to develop a customized directory for them. This directory, people or organizations are able to go in and add a listing. They can type in the information. ServeOK picked what information they wanted to gather. ServeOK picked the categories that they wanted people to be able to search by. When the organizations join, ServeOK approves or disapproves for them to be a part of the directory, so they have complete control of who's showing in the directory. Organizations can even log back in at a future date and update their information, so the information in the directory is kept up to date. And if we create a directory like this for you, we can upload your current database in there, and then you can invite new organizations to join as they, in the future and beyond the first upload. This is a feature that is available. If you're interested, let me know, and I can do a demonstration for you. We could talk about it for your organization. Some best practices for keeping the momentum going in your city. You definitely want to empower your partners with the full Meet the Need solution. Even if a single need is not being shared between organizations, one ministry using Meet the Need or one church using Meet the Need to funnel all their outreach activity, through their own website, branding it for them, mobilizing more people to serve, even if they're posting the needs themselves and not having it posted by a ministry, if it's a church. It's still a great platform. I mean, you're not going to find any other solution that really lets organizations manage their volunteer needs, their goods needs, their case management or benevolent needs, their family needs, their event needs, their schedule people to come back in the future for different needs, their international missions. I mean, it really is the best platform, or the only platform out there that encompasses all of that. So even if the collaboration's not happening between organizations, that's okay. We're here to help serve individual organizations as well. You really need to engage your partners by sharing Meet the Need regularly. Tamara was definitely an attest to that, through emails and newsletters and social media, through meetings that you have, equipping and training them and giving them continuing education. We send out newsletters about every 6 weeks or so. Use the information in our newsletters and copy and paste and take some of that and put it in your newsletters for your city. We do blogs and social media posts and, on things in general about outreach, not necessarily focused on Meet the Need. So take those and share them. And we even put stories on there. So you take some of those stories and share them in your communications within your city. We have tons of content. And we want you to use it and share it as much as you can to help drive your cause home and your vision and your mission home, because our vision and mission does align very closely with yours as a city reaching organization. Connecting, helping individuals and leadership to connect with citywide services and needs through your website. You always want to keep driving the organizations and individuals back to your site. Let them go and search and go where God leads them through the different needs that are on there, through the different organizations that are on there. And really what happens is unity becomes the byproduct. If empowering and engaging and equipping and connecting are happening, unity is the byproduct of all of that. A lot of times if you go into a church and start with the concept of let's all unify together and come together and collaborate, a lot of churches shut down because they're pretty happy with their little world of their church and what's happening and what they're doing. But if you talk about empowering, engaging, equipping, and connecting, then the unity comes over time as all of that is happening and as they're using Meet the Need. That's what we developed it to do. Coming soon, we do have a lot of volunteer management enhancements that we're going to be releasing in the next few weeks. We've been working on them for over a year now, but we are enhancing our smartphone-friendly signups for needs. We're reformatting our search page to be more mobile-friendly. We're allowing teams and groups to be able to go and sign up for needs and be able to grab a link and share that link with their group so the individual members can go and join. We're adding barcode and driver's license volunteer check-in to all of our needs so that you can quickly check people in if you've got a large event going on and you want to know who's actually showed up, and there'll be real-time reporting of actual hours served based on when you check them in and when they check out. We're adding detailed volunteer profiles where you can see what groups your volunteers are a part of. You can see what skills and passions. You can track those and record those. You can also keep track of training or paperwork or a process that you might have for volunteers and be able to see where they are in your process. We are allowing you to customize your own confirmation and reminder emails. And there'll be a reservation manager and scheduling module so that you can, as an administrator, be able to schedule your volunteers to come at a certain time and not have to direct them to go and adopt the need in order to get them into the Meet the Need system. And there's a lot more coming too. That's just a little bit of it, but be looking for newsletters for that. We try to keep you up to date on that, and we are very close. We're actually in the testing process of all of this and are looking to release it in the next couple of weeks. If you want to know more about all that's coming, you can go back and watch our February webinar. It goes into detail about all of the features that are coming. So you can go watch that webinar and really get some details on everything. And these are things, if you're a city reaching organization, they may not affect you directly because you're not out there posting needs, but it is going to be great enhancements for your churches and for your ministries. And a lot of our churches and ministries are waiting for those features, and we're glad to be offering them. Are there any more questions? And we can answer them at this time. I know I've seen a few popping up here and there. As always, if you have any questions at all, you can feel free to email me or email your member service representative at Meet the Need. We're here to help you out. If you want more, we definitely have a lot of video tutorials available. If you go to your dashboard and click the training button, there is a new button here called FAQs where you can look and search for questions that you have. Say if you have a question about how do I add key contacts, you can type in the word key contacts or click key contacts down in the list. And we have text and video available for every question that there is. And there's, I want to say, thousands of questions in there. I didn't actually count them. There's a lot of frequently asked questions in there. So if you can't find your answer there, definitely contact us. But we also have on the training page, we've updated all of our video tutorials. You know, they range anywhere from 2 minutes to 20 minutes, but they're short video tutorials to help you and to help your churches and to help your ministries to know how to maneuver around the dashboard, how to post needs, how to read reports, how to manage volunteers, how to connect key contacts, administrators. So all of that is there. We encourage you to take advantage of all the updated information. And of course, contact us afterwards if you have any other questions. We do have all of our webinars on a webinar archive. If you go to your dashboard, the help button, there is a new button called Meet the Need Webinars, and all of our archived webinars are there for the last 12 months. Some of the webinars that we've done are focused on events, case management, missions, city reaching, of course. We'll post this new one up there here soon. Reporting, being externally focused, best practices, and local missions. So you can definitely go watch any of the past webinars and share those with your team and use those to find out more about Meet the Need. As a reminder, our next user webinar is Tuesday, June 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to be on Meet the Need Best Practices Empower Users. Look for an evite that like we sent out for this one, and mark your calendars for every second Tuesday except not in July. Everyone tends to be on vacation in July, so we skip that month and we'll resume again in August. But I just want to encourage you that there's a lot more that you can join with us. You can go to our homepage. We have our blog, our newsletter, all of our recorded webinars. We're involved in social media. You can join us in any of those arenas. And we are your Meet the Need member services team. It's myself, Tanya Nichols, and Jill Albin. I'm sure you've heard our names if you have been involved with Meet the Need for any amount of time at all. We are here and you can contact us and we'll answer your questions and get you on your way. But Tamara, I want to thank you. I know you're muted right now, but I want to thank you for joining us. It's been a great blessing to have you share the application of how you make it work in your city there in Edmond, Oklahoma. And we thank you for Serve OK and your dedication that you've given to help unite the city and to connect everyone in serving the needs of others. Thank you for joining the webinar, and we will connect soon. Have a blessed day.